Hi there, everybody. Thanks for visiting LankSports.com. Keith Schweigert and Jeff Reinhart here, bringing you a preview of the District 3 Class AA semifinal clash between Wyomissing and Lancaster Catholic. Wyomissing comes in here as the number 5 seed. They pulled off an upset of DeLone Catholic last week in the first round. Lancaster Catholic, of course, the number 1 seed in district, the top-ranked team in the state. They ran the record to 11-0 by just drubbing Schuylkill Valley last week. A little bit of information here about Wyomissing, Jeff. The Spartans finished 3rd in Section 2 of the Berks IC League. They lost 2 of their last 3 in the regular season, but as I mentioned last week, they knock off DeLone Catholic 28-21 in the first round. Wyomissing's offense relies heavily on the ground game. They average 285 yards per game on the ground, 392 yards per game overall, and they're scoring 35 points per game.
Wow.
Top rusher is fullback Tyler Rank. He has 1,019 yards and 17 touchdowns this year. Their quarterback, Grayson Helm, is the second leading rusher on the team. He has about 500 yards. And halfbacks Derek and A.J. Nolly have 840 combined yards and 10 scores between the two of them. Defensively, Wyo looks pretty good. They average 150 yards rushing per game and 139 passing yards per game. And opponents are scoring 21 points per game against them. That's sort of an ominous sign. It looks like teams are getting to the end zone against them a little bit. And they're only +2 in turnover ratio. From what I've read about Wyomissing, turnovers have been the problem lately, and that's definitely a red flag. They've turned the ball over 21 times this season on offense. Catholic fans should remember Wyomissing pretty well.
Yeah.
2006, the Spartans knocked off the Crusaders 28-24 in the District 3 championship game. I was at that game. The winning touchdown came on a 56-yard Hail Mary bomb from Mike Mancius to Greg Lord with 10 seconds left. It's kind of a wild finish in that one. The team scored 3 different touchdowns in the last 2 minutes and 18 seconds of regulation, and it was just a horrible way to lose a game for Catholic. It was, just had their hearts ripped out of their chests on that one.
I wonder how many games Catholic's lost since that game.
Not too many.
Not many.
In 2008, they got a little bit of revenge. They hammered Wyomissing 45-7. That was the last time these two teams met. So, Jeff, how do you see Lancaster Catholic matching up with the Spartans here?
Well, number 2 offense in the league. They're up over 400 yards a game now, Catholic, after bombing Schuylkill Valley last week, sorry. Number 2 in total defense, 197, +15 turnover ratio, 27 takeaways. Roman Clay and Brandon Hollister are an unbelievable 1-2 play. You called it last week. You said, watch out, Clay's going to go off. And he had 207 or something. Yeah. And Hollister went crazy. He had 4 touchdowns. Lancaster Catholic's going to the district final. I'm sorry. I know Wyomissing's got a good, traditional, strong program. Bob Wolfram's been there forever, but Catholic's on a different level, man. They just are. This is their time of year. It's money time. They're going to win. They find ways to win. They're the most prepared team I've ever seen.
At this point of the season, I think the only thing Catholic has to guard against is a letdown. They can't overlook anybody. I don't think Bruce Harbach and the coaching staff will let that happen. But
not happening.
You're dealing with teenagers here, so you never know. I mean, I was at the Catholic game last week against Schuylkill Valley. They pretty much could have named their score. I mean, it was kind of like that Philadelphia Eagles game with the Redskins on Monday night. I think Catholic was up 21-0 before Schuylkill Valley had a first down.
Wow.
Yes, they did let Schuylkill Valley get back in the game a little bit. They had 2 very long touchdown passes, a 78-yarder and then like a 30-yarder. That cut it to 21-14, but, it was never really in doubt. The Crusaders, after the second touchdown, they took a kickoff back close to 90 yards for a score, and then the route was on.
Floodgates opened.
Yeah, the only other reason for concern for Lancaster Catholic after last week's game was that Clay was hobbled. He and the rest of the starters were still in there in the fourth quarter. I know that raised a few eyebrows, but took a helmet in the thigh, limped off the field. He's going to be fine. He'll be 100%
I saw him Tuesday
on
at practice.
Friday.
He was running just fine.
So, if Catholic, they're healthy, as long as they take care of their business, yes, they should be going back to the District 3 championship game, and Hershey trying for their second title in a row. Third title in a row, I'm sorry. I'll be stunned if that's not the case.
Yeah, me too. And this bracket kind of opened up a smidge because Littlestown was 10-0, and they got knocked off by Bermudians. And now Bermudian Springs gets Trinity in the other semifinal. And I think people are clamoring for Catholic Trinity.
That would be another
Next
rematch. Lancaster Catholic knocked off Trinity 35-7 in the first week of the season. Of course, at that point, Trinity had just installed that new spread offense that they moved to this year from the wing T, and one of their top running backs was out. So there were some mitigating circumstances in that game. However, 35-7 is 35-7. So we'll see what happens. They got to get past Wyomissing here first before they can worry about that. But I think we're both in agreement that it'll be pretty stunning if that's not the case.
Very large. Lancaster Catholic is loaded.
Absolutely. Cheap plug alert, I'll be blogging live from the game on Friday, so if you can't make it out there, be sure to join me on lanksports.com for all the action from the field, all the scores from other playoff games around the district. Jeff's game will be the Mannheim Central Lampeter Strasburg game, so we'll be updating that one as well, along with Wilson and Cocalico, the games that they're involved in, and any other scores we can collect around the district playoffs. We'll have them posted on our live blogs and across the main ticker, or the ticker that goes across the top of our main page. Jeff and I will wrap up all of Friday night's local action on a post-game video late on Friday night, so be sure to check for that. Thanks again for joining lanksports.com, and enjoy the game on Friday.